Welcome to Daring Marana YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about scavenging and the types of scavenging. So let's move to topic. Scavenging. Scavenging, it is a process of replacing exhaust gas in a cylinder with fresh air for the next cycle. That means process of replacing exhaust gas in a cylinder with the fresh air for the next cycle. Because efficient scavenging is essential or is sure make sure that efficient scavenging is there for the sufficient supply of fresh air for the combustion. Okay. In four-stroke cycle engine, there is adequate overlap between air inlet valve opening and exhaust valve closing. So there is adequate timing and overlap between inlet valve opening and exhaust valve closing. But in two-stroke cycle, this overlap is limited. Some slight mixing of exhaust gas and incoming air does occur. And number of different scavenging methods are used in slow-speed two-stroke engine. Okay. Scavenging means it is a process of replacing exhaust gas in a cylinder with fresh air for the next cycle. Efficient scavenging is essential to ensure that sufficient supply of fresh air is there for combustion. In four-stroke cycle engine, there is adequate overlap between air inlet valve opening and exhaust valve closing. Two-stroke cycle engine, this overlap is limited and some slight mixing of exhaust gas and incoming air does occur. A number of different scavenging methods are used in slow-speed two-stroke engine. In each, the fresh air enters as the air inlet port is opened by downward movement of piston and continues until port is closed by upward movement of piston. During fresh air enters in the inlet port is opened by downward movement of piston and continues until the port is closed by upward movement of piston. And flow path of scavenger is decided by engine port shape and design of the exhaust temperature. Exhaust arrangement. Okay, the flow path of the scavenger is decided by the engine port shape and design and the exhaust arrangement. Okay. Means in each the fresh air enters the inlet of port which is usually opened by the downward movement of piston and it will close by the upward movement of piston. And flow path of scavenger decided by engine port shape and decided by exhaust arrangement. There are three basic systems, that is cross flow, loop and uniflow. All modern slow speed marine diesel engine now use the uniflow scavenging with cylinder head exhaust valve. Okay. All modern slow speed marine diesel engine now use uniflow scavenging. It is now common, uniflow scavenging with a cylinder head exhaust valve. Uniflow scavenging with a cylinder head exhaust valve. Okay. Types of scavenging. So we can say cross scavenging. In cross, from the name we can say incoming air is directed upwards and pushing the exhaust gas before it. Here exhaust gas then travel down out of the exhaust port. This is what happens in the cross scavenging, means incoming air directed upwards and pushing the exhaust gas before it. Okay. The exhaust gas then travel down out to the exhaust port. Here first incoming air directed upwards, then pushing exhaust gas before it, then it will exhaust gas then travel downwards out of the exhaust port. This is what the picture of scavenger. Here scavenger inlet and exhaust port outlet will be their opposites in the cross. This is what the arrangement of cross scavenging. Then loop scavenging. In loop scavenging, incoming air passes over the piston crown, then rises towards the cylinder head. Then exhaust gas are forced before the air passes down and out of exhaust port, located just above inlet port. Loop scavenging means incoming air passes over the piston crown, then rises towards the cylinder head, and exhaust gas are forced before the air passes down and out of exhaust port, located just below the inlet port. This is what happened in the loop scavenging. Here we can see scavenger inlet is there, it will rise upward and come down to the exhaust. Exhaust outlet, exhaust port is located just above the scavenger inlet on the same side. The uniflow scavenging. Uniflow scavenging, the incoming air enters at the lower end of cylinder and leaves at the top. The outlet at the top of cylinder may be ports or large valve. Okay. In uniflow scavenging means the incoming air enters at the lower end of cylinder and leaves at the top. The outlet at the top of cylinder may be ports or a large valve. Okay, we can see scavenger inlet from the top, from the bottom, and from there the air will goes up. That means it is exhaust valve that is located on the top. Okay. Here cross scavenging requires the fitting of piston skirt to prevent the exhaust gas escape when the piston is at top of stroke. In cross flow, it requires the fitting of piston to prevent the air or exhaust gas escape when the piston is at top of stroke. But in the case of loop scavenge, they have low temperature air and high temperature exhaust gas through adjacent ports, causing temperature material difference problem. So that linear material have some problems. In loop scavenging, the another problem is during the suction inlet time there will be low temperature air and high temperature exhaust gas coming. So these are coming through the adjacent ports. It's nearby. Exhaust is placed just above the scavenger inlet So this causes a temperature differential problem in the loop scavenging. In uniflow, this is the most efficient scavenging method, but requires either opposite piston arrangement or exhaust valve in cylinder head. This requires opposite piston arrangement or exhaust valve in cylinder head. And all the systems have ports angled to swill the incoming air and direct to an appropriate path. In all the systems, the ports are arranged in a particular angle to swill the incoming air and direct to the appropriate path. Thank you.